Do you want to know what are the best programming languages in 2022? So let's get into it. Hello everybody, my name is Isis and welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to talk about what is best programming language in 2022, and also we are going to find out which is best for us because as a developer we have to know what is best for us, and the way that we can find out that is to master that language. So first of all, we have to decide on which language should we choose. Second, we should decide about should we proceed to the end and should we master it. And also the third step is to make sure about the community of that language, because we have too many questions about that language. We're gonna face too many problems, we're gonna face too many errors and stuff like that. So we're gonna find out that how we're gonna do that is to make sure about the variety and the area of that language, the thing that we have to know about that language, and also the back of that language, because every language has the back, or maybe the back story, whatever we said. In this guide we are going to talk about as three perspectives. Perspective 1 is about popularity, perspective 2 is about growth, and perspective 3 is about insights. Why are we choosing these three perspectives? Because popularity is one of the most thing that important for every developers out there, because you want to make money from your language, from your programming language. So the popularity is the most important thing. Second thing is about growth. For example, a language has announced 1 year ago. You want to know how much that language promoted in this 1 year. So this is growth. This means the growth. For example, Python in like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, didn't have enough competition or challenge between developers. But right now, Python is one of the most enjoyable and also the most popular language that you can find. Also because of this chart that exploded in these 2 years, so that the area of Python has increased. It's exploded, it's better to say. This is about the growth. What about insight? Insight is a thing that has the same level importance as popularity. What does it mean? Insight is about the thing matters, like the payoffs, the money, projects, and maybe the perspective as other developers and what they think about this language, and also what you should do in this language and what opportunities you have in this language. So these are the things that we're going to discuss in today's tutorial. Alright, let's get into our desktop. So first of all we have to do is just come into a Stack Overflow survey, developer survey. Why are we doing this? Because Overflow always at the end of each year announce a survey, bring back developers to vote for their own language, and then they see how much this language make a profit and how much this language make progress or stuff like that. So we're gonna find out in this website, because the Stack Overflow is the main home of each developer out there that you can ever see. Alright, let's get down to the section called technology. In here we have the professional developers as professional developers, because we can see as all, but we want to see as professional developers at the end of programming. We have the most popular programming languages at the end of 2021. So what is the winner actually? Because there are too many programming languages. We don't know how to choose them. We don't know how to use them correctly, and we don't know how to master them. Alright, let's get into this topic. I'm gonna expand this topic into the section called, do you have experience as a programmer or do you want to start from scratch? If you have any experience in programming, so you can go for Java languages, you can go for C, you can go for PHP, web development, cloud development, and etc. But if you don't have any experience in programming languages, you can start with Rust, Ruby, Kotlin, and also PowerShell or Node.js or Python even, because Python doesn't even require anything that you have to know from the past. All you have to do is just know the basics of Python and boom, you're gonna master it. So these are the things that matters for these types of programming languages. The thing that we talked about earlier was 3 things that we have to know about programming languages. The first thing is about popularity. As popularity, we have JavaScript in number 1, Python in number 2, Node.js number 3. Node.js is not actually a programming language, it's actually a framework that works outside of Java. I will talk about this later on. If I want to calculate this as a programming language, it should be 3, Java should be 4, C# should be 5, and boom, these are the top 5 programming languages: JavaScript, Python, Node.js, Java, and C#. What about the other languages like PHP, like C++, like C, PowerShell, Go, Kotlin, Ruby, Rust, and any other languages that you can see here? If I want to say in correct way, we have 3 types of programming languages. We have web development, we have client-based languages, and also we have cloud-based languages. For example, JavaScript is gonna be web development. Python is gonna be both web development, even client-based. SQL, client-based, web development, and even cloud-based. JavaScript gonna be development, Node.js web development, Java client-based, C# client-based, client-based, PHP web development, and yeah, those are the things that matters when you have to decide. So you have to know about what distribution you're gonna take. You want to be web developer, you want to be a programmer, like a client programmer, making Windows applications, making Android applications and stuff like that. So you have to focus on client-based language. But if you want to work as creating a website, designing a website, or making a blog or something like that, you have to go for web development. But if you want to work as a server admin, or you want to work inside a server, you want to work inside Linux or stuff like that, so you have to go with cloud platform. How should we choose these types? These types is your own preference. Because for example, web development is like making a website. That's the most easiest thing that I can ever say. Making a website from scratch. So you have to know JavaScript, HTML, CSS, SQL, Node.js, and even maybe a little bit Java or PHP if you want. But there is an alternative way for web development. That's why I said Python should be both web development and even client-based. Why I said Python does the both job? Because Python has a framework called Django. Django does the same job as JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Node.js. So you have these 3, like this one, and even this one, at the same time in a framework called Django. So it should be really great, you know, to have these 3 types inside one language, and even using Python code. So all you have to know is just the basics of HTML and CSS. That's done. You don't have to know PHP, you don't have to know Java exactly. All of these are written inside Python automatically. So you have to, you know, just know the basics of HTML, CSS, because if you want to change it a little bit in your own way, and that's your own preference after all. Yeah, that's it. So the next thing is about growth. If I want to say about growth of these languages, as you can see, this is a chart that I provided for you guys to see the actual ranking, the job ranking of these types of language. For example, C is number 1 because it uses on electronic chips like CPU, like graphics card, or like any other electronic things that out there, using C language as the base of it. And maybe the other types of them use C++ as the electronic chips. So if you want to work as electronic developer, or you want to work as hardware developer, so you have to go with C or C++, because it uses inside electronic companies. It's also a good choice actually. But what about Java? Java performs 98.4 in jobs ranking. I'm gonna show you what does it mean actually. Java perform inside Windows, inside client base, and also inside web. It's gonna be the framework of Java, because you can't use Java directly inside web. You have to use framework like Node.js or something like that to use Java inside web. So you need a module for that. But what about Android? Android, let me tell you something about Android. When you want to make an Android app, you have two choices. The first choice is using language called Basic for Android. It's a basic language that everyone can learn for learning Android. The other thing that I always recommend to anybody who wants to or decided to make an Android app is to go with Android Studio, because if you know how Android Studio works, you can make your Android apps, you can make Android games, you can make everything that you can ever imagine inside Android, and all of them has the back of Java or maybe Kotlin. So this is your choice to make an Android app using Java or using Kotlin. So this is the thing about Java. Also, if you don't know what is Kotlin, let me tell you. Kotlin is a language that announced in 2019 by Google that said like we have to go, or we have to upgrade Java to the next level, and also we have to make a free license from Java. And how to do that? Making a language called Kotlin. Kotlin is a new language that announced 2019, so it actually does a great job in programming, not gonna lie. So you have to test it yourself to see if it's work for you or not. In third place, we have Python. I think Python should be second or maybe first step, because in these 2 years, Python made really good progress that you can ever imagine. It's like Python was in the down, but in these 2 years, Python is like up here. So it's like a huge step to go from down to the up. And also the Python score in jobs like 96.9. That's not actually a bad thing about Python, but I hope or I wish it could be better, or it would be the more in ranking. So these are the language rankings. As you can see, C++, these types of apps you can make, JavaScript, mobile apps, and like web development, C#, mobile app, web development, and Windows client or maybe Linux client, PHP, web development, Ruby, HTML, Swift, assembly, R, Scala, Shell, and Perl. These are the things. If you are a beginner and you want to know the basics of languages, the best way to decide which language is best for you is to know you are on the right thing. So, for example, if I a new programmer that decided to jump in as developer, I would go with Python. If you don't like Python, you can go with Ruby, Rust, Go, or like Swift or HTML, whatever you call it. As JavaScript, Java, C, and C# and C++ requires more time to learn than Python, or maybe Ruby, HTML, CSS, and Go, Rust, and any other types of this language. Alright, let's look at job payoffs, because we want to see that if we work as these jobs, how much would we get? How much could we get? So let's see. First of all, we have JavaScript jobs at freelancer.com, because freelancer.com is a website that gives you job as a freelancer, that you can do that. It's like a project jobs. Alright, at first we see the average bid is like 285, 134, 754, 164, $11 per hour, $10 per hour, 20, 182. Yeah, these are the thing that these are the numbers for JavaScript jobs that you can do. For example, the dashboard enhancement, converting this XML music files into MIDI, custom web development, and JS cross-platform development, looking for Ionic framework expert, PHP developer, product configurator, UI and UX, and all these things that I could say. These are the things. Alright, let's talk about the other language that I wanted to show you is Python. Alright, Python. Let's say Python is like 166, 158, 512, 26 per hour platform update. Convert a Python desktop application into a web application, $2 per hour, 479. As you can see, Python's number are actually sometimes are high and sometimes are low, because Python, maybe this is an expert job looking to hire Python Django expert. Django is a thing that I talked about earlier. As you can see, this is the number for Django, 360. This is a really huge number for a Python or Django expert. Also, we have React. React is a framework of Java, and also React is using Java as the base language. So you want to know more about React, you can go to the website of React, or learning React Native for using inside of websites, or making Android apps, or making user interfaces for apps. You can use React Native, but for actual backend developers you can go for React. Also, I think you can use React Native too in that situation. Full stack engineer, Java developer, programmer, remote, this number. You see, this number is a huge thing about that. What about Android that I talked about you? Flutter, bugs and helping developer, as you can see, huge number. Create a VPN app, 4 hour, $25, 32, 172, 26, 37. These are the huge numbers actually. 733, 186, 17, 42, 41. Yeah, these are all the huge numbers. Alright, that's it. And also, if I want to say, like, Node.js, actually a good thing to know about. Oh, it doesn't refresh that. That's it for programming language. And yeah, alright, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoy this type of content. If you enjoy, let me know in the comments below. And also, if you want to know more about these types of topic, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment, and push that bell icon so you will get notified when I post the new content. Take care, peace.